What's going on?
What's
All right. What's going on, gang? What's going on, gang? This is Al, Elegant Body Magic. Get on Boss Podcast. Appreciate you guys listening in. I got my guest on the line right now, Carrie Phillips. So, I appreciate you guys listening in, man. Like I said, this podcast, the difference between, what we do and what other people do is that, I'm actually meant to do this podcast. Like I said, I was supposed to have been doing this years ago, and now I'm finally getting around to it. So it's like a passion, like purpose versus, somebody just trying to show off, their working out skills or whatever. So I like to bring Carrie on. She's my first guest on this podcast. It's bringing a little bit of flavor to the show because people that listen to my podcast, man, I mean, I go pretty hard. I say certain things, but, Carrie has like a different twist, man. She's a Christian woman, and, she mixed like her faith with working out to inspire people to, believe in God and, use God as their source more. So a little bit about her intro, man. Carrie, she's a fitness and fashion enthusiast with a faith-based life. She has a desire and a spark to spark internal motivation in those and reach those people through media by showing them a new perspective, on how to go about a healthy and satisfying lifestyle. So, I'm going to go ahead and, lock myself in a room and, let Carrie take over and, teach us about, fitness and, spirituality and how we can blend the two and, what her topic is about today. So.
Right. Thank you. So my main topic I wanted to talk about today for the podcast was the two main motivators in life, the principle of pain and pleasure. But before I do that, I would like to elaborate on what you said about me in my intro. And that's like connecting my faith to, fitness. And how do those relate? You're probably asking. Well, here's how they relate to me. We lose our motivation and our reason to work on ourselves sometimes. And you decide, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and do this for myself. And that should be enough. And you know what? That's good. You should do things for yourself. I'm all about that. But for some people like myself, I did that. And you go through a sadness in life or a depression and you realize that you lost some of your self-worth. And when you lose some of your self-worth, then doing those things for yourself, like going to the gym or eating healthy lifestyle habits isn't going to work anymore because you don't see yourself as worthy anymore. So you're not really doing it for yourself if you don't think you're worthy of doing it for yourself. So that's why I took it to the next level and I made it spiritual. And that's when everything started to click. I literally connect my body and my lifestyle habits to God and what I believe He intended and what He said that He intended for my life because He created me. And I believe that He truly sculpted every single one of us so beautifully and intricately in our own design in the image of Himself. And if we don't try to embrace that mold that He made for us, then we disrespect it and we misuse it, or we don't think it's worthy enough to work on, I think that that's really just kind of an insult to your Creator. And that's really the way I look at it.
Wow. I agree and understand, So.
Thanks. So if you wanted to, about pain and pleasure, that's like the next topic. I think if you want to take it to a more scientific level and understand why you're not actually doing the things that you say you're going to do, there's a deeper reason for that as well. And it's deeper than just, saying that you want to do it and hoping that you do it. So if you'd like to chime in like any time during this, I would like to talk about pain and pleasure. I know you've done it before on some of your past podcasts.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
Everything is energy, and everything consists of energy, and that means visible energy and invisible energy, sorry. And the only way that that energy moves in our universe is through action. And what I mean by that fact is that action needs to be taken to get a desired result that you want. So that leads us to the main point of the podcast. The main principle that influences all of our actions that we take is pain and pleasure. We're all wired to move away from pain, and we're all wired to move towards pleasure. So, to truly make a change that you want in your life, and that could be to your body, that could be in your financial situation, that could be in relationships, you must adjust something in your head called a pain and pleasure scale. So on one side there's pain, and one side there's pleasure. And in every situation in life, there's going to be pain and pleasure. And you just have to choose which one in that very moment is heavier to you. So is pain heavier? And by heavier, I mean, are you putting more reality on that pain than you are on the pleasure? So instantly, when that weight is put on pain, you say, oh, this is very painful more than it is pleasurable. So you're going to move away from that pain and not do something. And that could, like, for example, it doesn't even have to be with working out, but that's what I use it for. It could be with getting out of bed. So say that getting out of bed is going to be really cold, and you don't want to get out of bed because it's cold. But if you stay in bed, then you miss work, you don't make money, you feel like a failure. So in that moment, laying in your bed, in your pain and pleasure scale, which one's heavier? Is it more painful to get up and get in the cold, or is it more painful to not make your money, feel like a failure, not provide for your family? Like, in that moment, I'm sure being cold is really painful, but if you train your mind to really put that pain on whatever side that you don't want to take in the end, then it's going to be more real to you. And that's how that works. So that works with working out too. Like if you don't want to get up and go to the gym, or you have a good excuse not to go to the gym, you just need to make time and make more reality and like on the fact that it's painful not to go to the gym. So I mentally associated great pain with not going to the gym at least 5 or 6 times a week. So every time that I don't go, or 2 days that I don't go, I'm like, that was a step back. That all that I'm working for is reversing itself. And so even if that's not true, like, and it's not happening that fast, I associate great pain with not going. And I actually associate great pain with being sore. So like when I'm sore, I'm like, oh yeah, I worked hard. Like, that means that my muscles are gonna grow in a couple days. And that's how like in those little moments I keep going. And there's actually a mental exercise you can do if that's not working for you in the moment. It's called visualization. So I take in my mind not going to the gym, and I say, oh, it's really painful, and this is why it's painful, and you can write down the reasons why it's painful. And then in your mind, you like kind of meditate for a little bit, you think about it, and you're like, I feel the pain. Like, feel great pain in your heart, and it trains your subconscious mind from that point on to link pain with that. So that's the practice of visualization that you can add on to the pain and pleasure scale.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember on one of my podcasts, I was talking about, it's a scientific fact that if you actually visualize lifting the weights, it's been proven to actually gain muscle. Like they had 2 different trials. They had people who actually lifted weights, and then they had people who just visualized lifting the weights. And the people who visualized it actually had like a 30% muscle increase, compared to the people who actually lifted the weights. And I always wondered, because I visualize going to the gym a lot, even while I'm working. It's just naturally in my head because I'm so passionate about it. And I think that's probably helped to, the way I look now. But so, yeah, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying, True.
I really think that sometimes we get in our own heads and we forget how really powerful our mind is. You can truly think things, and, it causes your whole body to react to it. So physical results from thinking certain things. Like at that business seminar I was at, I actually learned that this whole energy thing and everything vibrating off of each other, there was a test where they took 2 vials of water, and one of them was spoken negative words to, and the other was spoken positive words to. And it's energy. How does water know that you're talking negatively to it? Well, the thing is, like, I guess it gives off a different vibration in the universe, because positive vibrations and negative vibrations are on a different level, and you attract the vibrations you give off. So when that negative water was instantly frozen right after, and that positively talking to water was frozen right after, the water that was talked to positively made perfectly crystallized patterns that were symmetrical, like a little snowflake. And then the other water that was talked to negatively was also crystallized, but it wasn't in a pattern, it wasn't symmetrical, and it just made no sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then you think about our bodies is made of 70% water, liquid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw that on a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? They was talking about that as well,
Yeah, never
that makes a lot of
the
sense.
power of your mind. Like, if you truly exercise this pain and pleasure scale, visualize it in your mind, I'm sure that the things that you want to do in life will happen. You will do them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I even talk about this on another one of my podcasts, the same type of topic, the pain and pleasure scale principle. So, I was letting people know, like, it starts off in procrastination, and then it goes to light action, and then it goes to pain, and then it goes to nirvana. Like, that's what people don't understand. It's painful to go to the gym, but then, like I talk about on my podcast, it's a point where it flips, and you actually look for the pain. Like you were saying, like, if you don't go to the gym for 2-3 days, you're like, dang, I'm moving backwards. And that's exactly how I feel, when I don't go to the gym. I'm like, man, for me, it's kind of crazy. When I don't go for 1-2 days, I'm feeling like it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I'm more on the crazy side when it comes to that. Like, I skip one day and I'm like, oh, I totally reversed last week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree and understand. I'm looking at some of the comments. Any of you guys having some challenges with the gym that you want to ask Carrie some questions? Go ahead and chime in. I see a lot of you guys joining, but go ahead and ask some questions. So if you guys got any questions, just go ahead and ask the guests. I see a lot of people, logging in. But if you guys got any questions about the gym, what you've been struggling with, or whatever, just ask Carrie, and I'll go ahead and bring it up. So.
Yep, here to serve you, here to answer your questions.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so how do people who really into their faith, like, how should somebody who's like a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, because everybody's watching this and not Christian, like, how should they go about, like, their daily or weekly workout schedule? How can they blend the two, like the spirituality and the gym as well? Do you listen to Christian music while you in the gym, or like
sometimes?
How does it work?
Honestly, a lot of the Christian music that I'm still searching to find more, but a lot of it that I've found just doesn't pump me up as much as I want it to. But I actually just downloaded an album by Lindsey Sterling, and she plays the electric violin, and her sounds are crazy. They make me like want to jump off a wall, flip off a wall. So I've been listening to that, but I'm still searching for other music. But honestly, whatever your belief is or your religion is, if you do believe that you were created for a greater purpose, and your body is something special, and you were carved out to be this certain person, and you're not striving to be it, then you're just not reaching your full potential, number one. And you're also basically telling God, like, whatever, like, I'm not good enough. Like, yeah, you're not going to be in this body forever, but you are right now. Like, it's your place of dwelling. You live here. So if you don't take care of it, then I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, there's important things in life, like making money and having relationships, but what about yourself? Like, if you don't take care of your health and your mind first, then all of those other things surrounding you just aren't going to work out the way you want them to.
Yeah, I agree and understand, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, with me, like I said, I am a Christian. I don't know. When I was like 17 years old, I actually stood up in front of the whole church and told them I was going to be a preacher. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it was kind of crazy. But I mean, I look at it now like I'm just supposed to reach the world in my own way, and that's why I have different ways of reaching people through fitness. And then I have another channel called How to Change My Life and stuff like that.
Right. You know, every single person has a purpose. So
Yeah.
just reach deep down, and what you're passionate about, you can connect that to reaching other people. Not everybody has the same talent. So if you're not sharing yourself and sharing your passions and selling what you believe is going to change the world to others, then you're really just doing a disservice to them, because the money they have in their pocket, or the experience or things that they could tell you that they have in their pocket, like, they would rather, you know, switch that with what you have, because keeping it to yourself isn't growing the world at all.
Exactly. So, I mean, how did you get into, like, the whole fitness thing? You know, because a lot of people, you know, they just go to the gym and then they don't post a page and post, like, pictures of them working out and stuff like that, and, you know, scriptures and stuff like that. So, like, what made you, you know, say, like, this is something that I need to do? Because a lot of people feel the same way you do, but they don't have pictures out there, and they're not on a podcast as a guest and, you know, moving forward and stuff like that. So, like, what's been speaking to you on the inside to, like, keep moving forward, you know?
To be completely honest with you, I'm going to share my story with you, even though it can get, well, it seems embarrassing to me, but I'm sure it's happened to others too. I've always been, like, semi-fit. I've been an athlete my whole life, but that doesn't mean that I've been, like, looked the way I wanted to or worked on my body the way I should. I just did what my coaches told me to do, and I went to practice when I was supposed to. I love sports, but when I took it to the next level, like caring about myself and my body and everything like that, it took a traumatic, emotional event for me to flip that switch. And that happened in college. College truly transformed me. So when I came in as a freshman, I went to the gym a couple times. I didn't take it very seriously, even though I wanted to deep down. I wanted to be like the girls I saw on Instagram. I wanted to do that. And I realized, okay, well, I'm going to do it for myself. So I started going a little more often. And then something happened in my life. I'm just going to say it. I got cheated on. And that's what truly flipped the switch, because I was like, I thought I was a pretty cool person. Like, what did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? And then I was like, well, if I'm not enough for somebody else, like, I at least have to be enough for myself. And I started getting into this thinking pattern where I wasn't even thinking I was enough for myself. And it was just a vicious cycle of me going downhill physically, mentally, in school. And then I decided I'm going to go out to the store physically and buy a cute outfit, because I like to buy cute outfits. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to look good in it. And I'm going to go to the gym and lift some heavy weights. And I'm going to feel good about it. And I did. I got a cute outfit. I went to the gym. I put it on. I worked out really hard. And I was mad and I was sad and I was feeling all these emotions. And I was just letting them go while I was working out. And I looked in the mirror after, and even though, like, my body didn't change, I was like, I feel better. I feel like I just physically made the effort to be enough for myself. And if I'm enough for myself, everything else will fall in place in the future. So I'll be enough for some guy. You know, I'll be enough, period.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I'm enough for God and I make all these mistakes and I'm still enough for him, then I should be able to be enough for myself as well. And that's why, like, I combined that fashion and that fitness aspect and that spiritual, motivation behind everything. And since then, it's been a snowball effect, and it's just been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I realized if I want to do something I love with my life, then I need to channel this passion out to the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that story. we have a guest, Nicolina. I don't know if you know him or her. She said, "Hey, Carrie, how have you been?" Huh?
That's my old neighbor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they say, "How have you been?" So
great,
you know,
amazing.
Yeah,
getting better every day.
Yeah. I appreciate you sharing your story. It's a guy who started a podcast called The Passionate Few. It's really popular. He interviewed like Grant Cardone, like all these, billionaire people, and he talked about the same thing. Like what inspired him to start the podcast and do something great was a breakup. Like it was a bad breakup, and like he just took the energy, because some people can really fall down into a living mental hell, when it comes to a breakup and that kind of energy. So he did the same thing you did. Took that bad energy from the breakup and put it into something positive, and redirected that energy into something positive, and that's going to be great. So, yeah. Yeah,
your mess can be your message, and that's so true. It doesn't matter what you've done in your past. If you've overdosed, if you've, done the worst thing you could think about, you're still living, your heart's still beating, your lungs are still breathing. You have a message to share, and that happened to you for a reason, so that you could change your life and make it what you need it to be.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to ask you, since, it's more of a Christian-inspired fitness message. Do you kind of think about, like, the body being a temple of God, and how the Bible talks about, how the body's a temple of God, and, like, going into the gym and you working on your body? Do you kind of think about that? Like, this is the temple and I'm like improving it. I think that's like a spiritual thing too, because this is where God dwells, like.
Right. I mean, it is. I believe it is a temple of God, and sometimes it's confusing because I look at my body and I'm like, is this me? Like, that's not what's talking. It's something inside that's me. It has to be something else. But that's where I'm living. That's what's reacting to who I really am. And if I want that to be a reflection of who I am on the inside, then that is a self-caring, aware Christian woman who will take care of her body and show others how to do it as well. And I go into the gym thinking, yes, I am working on this creation that was given to me. I don't even know why he created me or why he loves me so much. So I'm going to work my best on it and make it everything that he wants it to be, or he intended for it to be. So that's my thoughts when I go into the gym.
I agree and understand. So how long you been saved? Like, how did you got saved when you was like, because I remember being like a child and my mother telling me to go up, go up to the church and go to the front and, get saved, get baptized. And I was like 7 years old. I mean, was it like something like that, or you had like a recent spiritual experience, or you just been saved and sanctified since you like was a little girl, or how did that whole process happen? I mean,
so I was raised in the church, but I'm not going to say that I was always consistent with what I was being taught. I definitely fell away multiple times, and I have picked myself back up and realized that I need to get back on that train. But I was actually 12 when I personally made my own decision to walk up and get baptized and devote my life to Christ. And since then, yes, I have made major mistakes. I have fallen off, but I have always come back to what really matters and realized that I'm alive for a reason, and this is my second chance. Every single day I wake up and I'm breathing. So ever since then, I have devoted my life to Christ since I was 12, but every single day is a constant effort to keep doing the same thing. It's a choice. It's not just a one-time thing where you're like, oh, I'm saved. It's
right.
It's constantly working towards that, because, you can't go to the gym once and be like, oh, I'm a gym rat. Like, I'm big. And, it just doesn't work like that. It's a constant, like, working on it type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree and understand. The Christian people I respect the most is people who, admit that they have faults, because some people walk around, like they walk on water and stuff like that. And especially, being pretty like you are and being fit and even looking better in the future, I know it's challenging sometimes, especially if you're single. What message do you have to people who are also trying to, men and women who, look nice, and then they have this nice looking body, and then, their career and stuff is about to take off, or they're in school like you are, progressing. Like, what message do you have to single people who have challenges, with the opposite sex and, like dealing with that? Like, how do people deal with that? How do they stay on the path of least resistance and stay, devoted to like God and, without falling off, having all the pretty chicks, hollering at these guys, or the nice looking guys, with their money right and stuff, trying to holler at the Christian, nice looking women. How do people deal with that?
So this is one that I don't even know if I've gotten fully figured out yet, because I'm single. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's a struggle sometimes. Like, if you want to go out and have fun, and you look good, or you hold yourself highly, people think they just think you're a toy or whatever, just something for looks.
Right.
But you're so much more than that. And the only reason I look like this is because I think I'm more than that. And when you automatically communicate your message from the start, you eliminate the people out of your life who are there for the wrong reasons. And it hurts sometimes. Maybe like you like a guy and you want to tell him how you feel, and you hope that he accepts your faith and what you do. But if he doesn't, he didn't. Like, you can't change that. He didn't for a reason. So just let him go. Like, maybe he'd come back later. Honestly, it's better to look at a woman like, oh, she respected herself, than like, and she's true to what she believes.
Yeah.
Drop it all for someone you might not even be with.
Yeah.
In the future. So
that's real. I think
it's the one I struggle with the most. It really is.
Yeah.
But
I think that's real, because I think that's how Sierra and Russell started off. I think they started off, with the sex thing happening like at the marriage. I think they rushed to the hotel and stuff, I think, after the wedding, but it's like, they waited, so yeah, I mean, as a man, looking a certain way, and I would say that's true. If a woman, if she waits, a dude will value it more, but the advice I would give women is, if they want to go that route with a guy, it's not really about saying no. It's about, to me, how you say no. Like, a woman can say no to a guy and still let him know, even if it's just leading to a relationship or something like that in the future. To me, it's not about a woman saying no to me. It's about how she says no, Yeah,
you can't hurt a guy's pride in that process, because it's go all downhill. It has to be about you, not about anything that he did.
Yeah, I just thought that was an important topic to bring up, because that's just real. People dealing with the opposite sex, trying to stay devoted to God and, the scriptures, and trying to be, a good son or daughter, but that's a challenge. So I appreciate that advice, you gave to everybody.
Thank you.
We had another guest, Nicole. Nicole as well. It's pretty scary.
She's my best friend. Shout out my best friend, Nicole Van Kirk.
Yeah. So these are people in Pittsburgh. These are some of your friends in Pittsburgh, or?
Yeah. I see a lot of them.
Okay.
My soccer coaches, my roommate, my best friend, my neighbor.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate the support.
Yeah, so, I mean, do you take, like, any supplements, or, like, do you have, like, like, pre-workouts and all that kind of stuff to look the way you do, or is it, like, you just go in there and go hard, or is it, like, some kind of strategy, or?
So, honestly, when it comes to that side of it, I kind of let my brother take a hold of it. I just ask him what I should do, because he's super educated in the mind and body, and, what you should take. But I do take BCAAs. It's called something Revolution. It's like a square box in GNC, but with all the, things that optimize your focus, your energy, and like the rebuilding of muscles after your workout. I take that beforehand, and I always take protein after, isolate protein. And that's it. And I've been seeing major results doing that consistently. I never did that consistently because I couldn't down a protein shake. I thought they were gross. And then I found one that wasn't gross. The one at Costco, it's like something whey, isolate protein whey. And it's vanilla. It's really easy to get down. So I take that after workouts.
Yeah.
But I do make sure that I eat a meat and vegetable every day. I think that's really important. But it's super important to get the protein shake in too, because even if you are eating protein, it may not be getting into your bloodstream as fast as you want it to recover in like a good time.
Yeah, I agree and understand. I talk about that on one of my podcasts as well about supplements. And, my thing is with the supplements and, because guys kind of go harder with the supplements than women. My thing is, like, I don't take anything. Like, people see me and they be like, dude, you own something. I'm like, I'm actually not. All I eat is peanut butter. But,
Yeah.
But my thing is, if people get on all these supplements and stuff, to me, they're kind of cheating themselves, because if they get on all these supplements and then they start looking a certain way, they're going to think it's the supplements that did it. So my thing is, go as hard as you can, follow certain workouts that I talk about, that you talk about, other people talk about, and then see how you can look, at your peak, and then go get supplements. Like right now, I could go get supplements if I wanted to, like creatine and all that kind of stuff, just to play around with it. But I feel like some people should just try to like go to the gym and go as hard as they can, naturally, and then at least you know what you can look like without all the creatine and guys. I've been knowing guys who just get they have like 5 different shakes. Like, you go into their house, you look in the kitchen, it's like all these things, and so that's my take on it. But yeah, I understand you coming from, with taking the
that's what I did first too. I never really stuck with any like specific pre-workout or protein after workout stuff until recently, when I really wanted to optimize my results. And honestly, the only major result I've seen is that my recovery time has like shot through the roof by giving my body what it needs when it needs it. And that's just the key to all that.
Wow. Yeah. So what are some of your fitness goals right now? I mean, you look a certain way right now. Do you just want to maintain where you at? Or are you trying to go to like a next level, or level up, 2 levels up, 1 level up? Or are you just trying to maintain where you at? Or what are some of your...
I reached a pretty good level right now. Like, I like where I'm at, but I've been working on my biceps a little. Like, I wouldn't mind if they were a little bit bigger. Like, they're toned, I could see a little growth. Not too much, but like a little bit of growth there. I definitely need to keep up on my abs all the time, because I just feel like, for me, that's the fastest thing that goes downhill. So my lower abs have been a real focus lately. So lower abs, biceps.
Right.
And, I was born with like pretty thick legs, so it's not hard for them to get even thicker. So I'm not like worried about my legs, even though I do work them out every day, but I think I need to put more emphasis on my lower abs and my biceps.
Yeah, I agree and understand. Well, yeah, I appreciate everything that you share with us, talking about spirituality and, giving us advice on that, Now, let people know where they can find you at on Instagram and all your social medias. Where can people find you at?
So, if you guys can't see it, my Instagram handle is _Kerri Phillis, KerriPhillis. And there, I have a link on my bio, which is leading to all of my other stuff. So, if you want to follow me on other stuff, just go to my link. I just put my Facebook in there last night. I'm working on creating a YouTube channel. It doesn't have much content on it yet, but it will. So subscribe to that. I'm going to put that on my link in my bio. And big things coming. Becoming a market affiliate for a lot of legging brands, and we'll see where it takes me So I'm glad.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So, yeah, I appreciate you being on the podcast, sharing your information. So this is Al. You guys can follow us, Elegant Body Magic, Elegant Body Magic, Get On Boss Podcast, So, yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys chiming in. Let us know in the comments